Hi, I'm Liz Selvin. I'm here with Dr. Kristie Lancaster. We're the co-chairs of the American Heart Association Epidemiology and Lifestyle Conference in Phoenix, Arizona. Should we do our elbow bump?
No handshakes or hugs this year.
Yep. It's been a fantastic meeting. We've had an incredible diversity of topics. We started the meeting with Dr. Matt Gilman and Dr. Rebecca Gottesman speaking about cardiovascular disease across the lifespan. Kristie, do you want to talk a little bit about Matt Gilman's talk? I know you really enjoyed that session.
Sure, I thought it was really interesting. He talked about the importance of starting early with cardiovascular health and thinking of it in a positive way rather than avoiding disease. How can we help people and help children and ultimately the adults they grow into to live healthy lives starting from the beginning? And one of the things that he thinks it's important for us to consider is that babies that are born to term but are small for gestational age, we need to be careful about how much we feed them. Overfeeding can result in obesity more so than with normal infants.
I was impressed that Dr. Gottesman's talk, which focused on the other end of the spectrum, older adults, has really changed the way we think about the aging brain, and
Yes.
the overlap between Alzheimer's disease and vascular dementia is immense, and in a way that we really didn't understand before.
Absolutely.
It was a great session, really fun to see those two talks, from early childhood all the way to late life come together.
Yes, and it all links together even though we often think about them separately.
So I know we both loved the session on disparities and social determinants of health. Do you want to talk about some of the highlights of that session?
Sure. I think often when we think about social determinants, we think about income and neighborhoods and that sort of thing. But two of the talks focused on social networks, and that's something that we don't look at as much. One of them looked at African American women and found that they, the ones who had stronger and more diverse social networks, were more likely to have ideal cardiovascular health than ones with less strong social networks. And the other one that focused on South Asians living in America found that having larger social networks resulted in less cardiovascular mortality and less coronary artery calcium. So I think it really shows how we need to think about how can we expand people's social networks.
And I love that we mixed the format up for that session with
Yes.
lots of discussion and bringing the different talks together. It really worked well. I was really excited to see that.
Yes, the panel at the end made it a little bit different and kind of showed how everything fits together, as you said.
It was great. My favorite session was the Academia Industry Symposium, where Dr. Paul Muntner and Dr. Rob Califf, the former commissioner of the FDA, talked about the future of academia industry partnerships and the opportunity we have for the field to really be stronger if we work together. Dr. Califf is now at Google, and he pointed out that Google has mapped the world. The question now is, can we do the same for human health? The hot off the press session is always one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. Some of the just fantastic science on diabetes, peripheral arterial disease, and how electronic health record-based coaching can help people lose weight. Just some really diverse and interesting topics. I thought that was a really fun session. Mm-hmm. And then the gloves really came off at this year's debate between Dr. Anne-Marie Navarre and Dr. Tommy Wong. They debated the merits of a polypill approach versus a guideline approach to reducing cardiovascular risk. Lots of audience participation and questions really got people up in arms and with very, very strong opinions, I would say.
Definitely. And while you were in the hot off the press session, I was in the physical activity session. And that was very interesting. Of course, we always think about moderate to vigorous physical activity and sedentary time. But two of the talks talked about light physical activity and found that even if you don't do 10,000 steps, even if you're not doing a lot of moderate to vigorous, light physical activity still benefits cardiovascular health. And the other found that light physical activity helped with all-cause mortality. So it's nice to know.
And they're really good for those of us who spend all day sitting at a desk.
That's right. That's right. So every little bit helps. I found that very encouraging. I also wanted to mention the early career panel that was at the Lifestyle Luncheon, and it focused on time management. Even though it was for early career, I know most of the people I know who still need help with time management. So some of the points that were made were say no. We know that, but it's not always so easy to do. Also delegate to other people and carve out time for yourself and let the people you work with know that during those hours they should not bother you. Don't answer the phone, unplug so that you can really focus and get your work done. Also have an individual development plan and refer to that so that you can decide what is important and how to prioritize and how to say no. So I found that very helpful.
It sounds like a great session. I think our trainees also really found the consortia session with Drs. James Miggs, Nori Allen, and Joe Korish especially eye-opening. Is there anything else you want to highlight?
I think the whole meeting has been terrific, but I think those are the biggest things that stood out to me.
I've had so much fun at the meeting this year. I look forward to seeing everyone next year on March 2nd through the 5th in Chicago.